Hey guys, my name is Sarai Guerrero. How are you doing today? If you're watching this video right now, it's because you want to learn more about the SARS COVID strand and the new Omicron strand variant. So if you're ready to learn more about it, stay here, stay tuned, because I'm going to be talking more about it according to my experiences with them both. And if you're ready, let's get started. So my experience with the SARS, the first strand of COVID, was very different from the Omicron. The first one was more of it felt like it wasn't as heavy in the sense that I didn't feel really sick. It felt more of like just any day where I feel super tired. So I was like super exhausted, not wanting to do anything. I wanted to just be sleeping all the time. I asked Jordan to make me tea, I believe, just because I knew like it would burn the virus and stuff. From what we were told was that the virus would end up, burning up with anything hot. But during that time, my mom had recommended that I made some tea like with onion and garlic and turmeric and lemon and honey, and that's like the remedy to help combat that. And I think during that time I did. The second time I didn't do that just because I again was feeling kind of exhausted, but more of like I needed to rest since I was pregnant. And I think that's what had changed kind of the two differences, was that I was especially more exhausted because I was pregnant. That was one of the factors that made me feel that I needed to rest more, because like the baby is also going to be getting anything that I'm fighting. It's the baby's going to be receiving the antibodies for that as well. So my body was going to be doing extra work, and I wanted the baby to be good. It's my first child, my first baby, and I had so much going through my mind during the second time. I feel like the first time was not as overwhelming as the second time, because now Jordan had to make me like a lot of teas. I know when I first felt the itchiness was when I was working, and so I had gone to eat somewhere and I started feeling the itchiness, thinking it was like something I ate, that was the dressing or something causing my itchiness. Like even now, as being a pregnant mom, my throat feels kind of weird, but it's because of the mucus and all the things that come with being a mom and being in a pregnancy. So the second time, like I said, with the Omicron virus, we got it from Jordan's biological dad's family side. And I'm just very specific with that. Even though Jordan doesn't really know his actual dad, like in person, he has never met him. Only one time when he was little, I think that's what he remembers. But anyways, I'm more specific with that, so that way like what side I'm talking about of his family, because then he has like his immediate family, his stepdad that's been like a dad to him, and then his side of the family versus the biological dad side of the family. So anyways, that family ended up giving us the Omicron variant because they had been vaccinated with a vaccine, and we ended up being all together at a family event, an event where everyone gets together. And so we were all close to each other. Even though they were trying to prevent by wearing masks, we still ended up getting sick. And the reason why it wasn't because they knew they were sick when they were wearing their masks. It was the fact that they were trying to prevent anything. When you're wearing a mask, it's not only because you think someone's sick, it's because you're preventing something that can happen. So they're trying to prevent anything from happening. And sorry about the lighting, because it keeps getting brighter and darker, brighter and darker. So they were just trying to be more cautious, but yet we still ended up getting sick because we slept over during that time, since the family lives in Apple Valley, and the family visiting also doesn't live in Apple Valley. So we were just visiting over the family's house of one of Jordan's tias, and the other tia came, and then we were all just together. So we were thinking that the vaccination would prevent, or even people that are vaccinated would not be able to get us sick. But in reality, from what I've learned, they can get you sick too, as I experienced firsthand. And I ended up being the one that got the most sick. Jordan seemed to not really have symptoms. He just said like he was coughing, but like a cough for him is a very usual thing. He coughs every day because of his allergies. So I felt like 1 week it was getting really bad before it got really good on the next week. And during this time I had to like not work anymore. I was like really sad because I had to stop working. And well, the good thing was God kept providing. Jordan ended up being able to stay here at home with me, ended up getting paid by Amazon for having the virus or being around someone that has it, especially his wife. And being able to take care of me was amazing because I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. How am I going to do this? Like, I don't have energy at all. And Jordan really stuck through and helped me through it all. He gave me lots of teas. I ate a lot of soup. And with the symptoms, like I said, with this one were heavier again because I was pregnant. And I think one normal thing that doesn't have to do with my pregnancy was that the throat like was hurting right here. My throat was like really swollen. And I think that's something that hasn't happened in a while. Like when I've had tooth infections that end up going to my throat and then infecting my throat and then going to my stomach. I used to struggle with that growing up because I didn't really go to the dentist often. So then I would have those infections and I wouldn't brush my teeth that well. And I think it was when I had my braces when I would go through that the most. Because the people that would do my braces or fix them, tighten them, were in Mexico. My orthodontist, we had to go drive and see all the way over there. So with that being said, I noticed that for sure that was one of the symptoms that I could say was the strongest with the Omicron variant. I don't remember if my head hurt. I think my head did hurt for this one, but it wasn't so much. I feel, again, it could have been because I'm pregnant, and lately I have been feeling like at times where I do get a headache, and it's because I'm pregnant or because I'm not walking enough or because I haven't drank enough water. You know, all those things have to be factors to why I feel this way sometimes. And so with the first variant, going back to that one, I felt like it wasn't as horrible. I didn't think it was as horrible as people would say it is. I know that everyone varies with their symptoms. Some are much more harder, some are much more lighter, some don't even have symptoms. Like I remember with my husband Jordan, he ended up getting the first strand before we got married, exactly that same month in January of 2020. And glory be to God, he made it to his wedding day because we got married and we are now having our little baby. But his symptoms were very similar to mine. He was very exhausted. He did not want to do anything. He just wanted to be laying down. He just had no energy whatsoever. I don't know if he had a headache. I think he might have had headaches with that one. But again, like they were very similar, mine and his. So that's how we knew that we had that first strand. And then when this new variant came out, it was so very different because I didn't know I even had COVID until the family ended up giving us a call and saying, hey, guess what? We tested positive. Most of us did. And some of them still hadn't known the results to their tests. And so it was funny because the aunt had COVID while the other people in the household, I think, didn't have COVID. And it's crazy how some could have it and some cannot have it. And so there's just so many different factors going into, you know, who has COVID, who doesn't, who's getting the symptoms, who isn't. And with this new strand, it was just very interesting, like everything that we had gone through. And in a way, not to sound like rude or anything, but I was happy that I hadn't gotten it, just because I didn't want to take the vaccine, especially being pregnant. Right now I'm not feeling like it's time for me yet, so I was like fine with not having to take it because I already had the first variant. And now the second one, I was like feeling now my baby's gonna be protected. To be honest, I felt like, God, like, you allow this for a reason. You're allowing for me to go through this so that the baby is protected, and the baby already has it. So when it comes into the world, like, it's good to go. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. And like I was saying about oh my goodness, I was gonna say something about the other variant, and then it completely, okay, so what I was gonna say was that because of the first variant, I thought that was the only variant with the same symptoms that was gonna be like happening to everybody, not knowing that the Omicron variant would be completely kind of distinct with the first one. And so I didn't know what the symptoms were because I didn't really look into the second one. I didn't really feel like the need to. Like, I felt that I was already protected by the first one, and above all, God was going to be protecting me. So the second one, I had no idea what the symptoms were going to be until I went through it. And again, even though they say like specific symptoms, that doesn't mean that they're going to apply to everyone. Everyone is different, and I think that everyone should say what their symptoms were, just so that we could all get an idea and not like, what's it called, be biased towards the idea and be like, well, everyone's gonna have the same exact symptoms, and well, everyone's gonna have the exact same thing. And I think we need to learn to not what's it called, put everything in one box. We need to like put categories when it comes to like sicknesses and stuff like that, and say, okay, well, this is the main strand or the sickness, and these are the different symptoms that could happen to you. Kind of like when you get a medication, these symptoms can happen, but that doesn't mean that everyone's gonna get those exact symptoms. Everyone's gonna get different symptoms. And so anyways, that was my experience. I think the second one felt like it lasted more than the first one. I don't know, I feel like, okay, so I kept trying to think. I had to like stop the video and kind of think, because I was kind of getting confused, like if it was the first or second one when it came to which one was the longest. And actually the first one felt the longest, and the second one was the longest. The first one, just because I never experienced how long COVID would be, it was a long experience for me, and I just wanted to get out of here. The second experience was me wanting to already work and start working, because it was like a new job for me. And so I already wanted to like go. But when I took the COVID test again, I was positive for it, even though I didn't have any symptoms. So I think the not having the symptoms felt like I was already healthy, already like ready to go. And the first time I didn't get the COVID test and waited like the full 2 weeks, I think it was. And then this time, like, I didn't wait, because they said supposedly like you should be good to go after a couple days, because they even let me go see my OBGYN after 5 days of having it. You're good to go. I was like, whoa, what are these, the new CDC rules? So that's when those new rules started coming in. And I think that's why I was like, oh, I want to already start working. I know that I don't have it, but yet I was still positive. So I still had it. I was carrying it, but I had no symptoms. So I think that was those are the differences between both. And so, yeah, but I want to give the glory to God, because honestly, I do not know what I would have done if I had not had God through this. And Jordan, like, God used Jordan a lot, and I know that God was there with me, because I kept praying, Lord, help me get through this. Lord, help me get through this. The people praying behind me were so amazing. People that were there supporting us the first time and the second time, bringing us food, was super amazing, a super beautiful blessing from the Lord. So that's what I can say about that, is that God has been good, is good, will continue to always be good and be providing. And the glory goes to Him while we are still here, while we are still healthy, why we went through it, and He held our hand through it all. And I think the second time I could say was very emotional for me, just because I was more worried about the baby and people being like, don't stress out too much and all that. Like, it's funny because when people say don't stress out too much, and you try not to stress out, but then you're thinking about not stressing out and that's stressing you out. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit long, but I wanted to go in depth of my experiences with both of them and kind of let you know what I felt. I could not breathe really good. The first one, it wasn't really bad, but the second time I couldn't breathe like normally. It was horrible. I was coughing. I needed to drink a lot of water, a lot of liquids. So, but yeah, if you have any more questions that I missed about this and you like want to know more, put them below here. I will be making more videos about different topics coming up soon. So I hope that you guys can hit that subscribe button, put a like on this video if you enjoyed this video, and come and become part of our Freedom and Surrender family. And remember, when you surrender yourself to the Lord, that is when you find freedom. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. God bless you. Jesus loves you.